Qiuyuan's kit is downright insane. He runs on bamboo sticks like a martial arts master, then slams down with a plunging strike that detonates entire groups of enemies in one cinematic sweep. It isn't just flashy spectacle either. These heavy attack driven nukes make him feel like one of the most explosive units released. And it's why he might secretly be the single best pick of version 2.7. In this video, let's talk why you need this dude and how he will impact the future of the game. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta po sa inyong lahat? Let's get one thing out of the way. Qiuyuan is not here to play the role of some quiet background support. His resonance skill alone is enough to demand center stage. That leaping slash may look like pure style, but it's actually the heart of his kit, delivering massive heavy attack damage while setting up the crit mechanics that fuel his entire playstyle. And when you pair that with his resonance liberation, suddenly he's not just another damage dealer, he's giving your entire team a crit damage steroid based on his own crit rate. In other words, the more you stack crit on him, the more everyone benefits. This is why building Qiuyuan like a support makes no sense. His buffs are tied directly to stats that also increase his own damage. Every point of crit rate you invest isn't just for the squad, it's also making him hit harder. That's what makes him so dangerous. He's a selfish DPS and a team enabler all at the same time. His heavy attack scales beautifully with these buffs, and characters like Iuno and Mortefi slot in perfectly to feed his combo, amplifying his role as the centerpiece of the team comp. Qiuyuan, in my eyes, is the absolute must-pull unit of version 2.7. He doesn't just unleash devastating damage, he amplifies the crit damage of every resonator in his team, himself included. So, if you haven't started saving your asteroids yet, now is the time, because passing on him could mean missing out on one of the most transformative buffs in the game. Fortunately, we have Loot Bar to save the day. With up to 21% in discounts using Loot Bar's do-it-yourself top-up on mobile, you can avail of their discounts without handing out your password. Trusted by the community for years now with excellent reviews, top up with Loot Bar using my link in the description to get an extra 10% discount. Together, let's bring home Qiuyuan because his passives reinforce his role. One lets him recycle energy, another rewards him for chaining heavy attacks during his special state, and yet another increases echo skill damage team-wide. But again, all of this comes back to him being on field and dealing damage himself. He can't maximize his value if he is sidelined. Qiuyuan shines brightest when he's leading the charge, swinging his blade with those crit stack heavy strikes. His forte mechanics seal the deal. Building up his resources lets him enter Inverse of Spirit, where his cinematic strikes aren't just for show, they're heavy arrow attacks that also count as echo skill. This ties his damage, buffs, and synergy into one explosive mode. The more you invest in crit, the stronger his strikes and the better the buffs for the whole team. That's why thinking of him as just a sub-DPS is missing the point. He's designed to be your main source of pressure with the added bonus of uplifting allies. So, what does this mean for building him? Stack crit rate. The Law of Harmony Echo set is perfect since it scales his heavy attacks and juice up echo damage for the whole team. And with how his resonance energy is generated, the Dream of the Lost is an option that increases his crit rate and echo skill. Pair that with arrow sets and the equivalent Fenrico forecast echo, and suddenly you've got a monster who fuels himself while pushing allies even higher. And don't forget his signature weapon, Bamboo Cutter. With crit rate baked in and buffs to both his heavy attack and team echo damage, it's practically glued to his hands. One concern is the lack of clear information about the crit rate threshold or the exact conversion rate from crit rate to crit damage. Where that line is drawn will determine if Qiuyuan truly deserves the title of must-have unit in version 2.7 or if his kit ends up feeling like a flashy gimmick designed to drive revenue. The other big question is how Qiuyuan compares with Shorekeeper, who has long been the resident sustainer and crit buffer in the game. At first glance, Qiuyuan looks like he breaks her monopoly, stepping in as the new face of crit amplification. His kit shifts team building priorities by making crit rate investment not just useful but practically mandatory across future compositions, while also easing crit damage stacking through echo substats. The surprising twist, however, is that this is less a rivalry and more of a partnership. When paired together, Qiuyuan and the Shorekeeper create overlapping crit buffs that snowball into outrageous synergy. Instead of one replacing the other, using both unlocks crit stacking mayhem that can completely redefine how teams approach damage scaling. Insane? No, it's absolutely mental. When it comes to teammates, Galbrena, Cantarella, Rosia, and Frolova all make strong partners. And even Chisa, rumored to be an Echo skill scaling Havoc resonator, could slot in nicely. But the real stars of the show are Iuno and Mortefi. Their kits feed directly into Qiuyuan's crit-driven heavy attack synergy, turning his buffs into explosive results that snowball quickly. In teams like this, Qiuyuan isn't just another piece of the rotation. He is the rotation, the central engine around which everything else revolves. On top of that, the Shorekeeper adds another layer of synergy by boosting his crit rate and crit damage, enabling even greater team-wide crit buff stacking. And the outcome is nothing short of absurd. So, Qiuyuan, he is not your typical team buffer. He's a main DPS masquerading as a support, and if you build him like a support, you're throwing away his greatest strengths. Stack crit, embrace the heavy attack scaling, and let him carry you while making the rest of your squad deadlier. That's the kind of broken synergy only Qiuyuan can offer. But what about you? Are you planning to build Qiuyuan as your team centerpiece, or do you think the crit stacking gimmick will be too demanding? Let me know in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, please support the channel by hitting the like button and subscribing if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will see you in the next video drop. Goodbye.